Okay, welcome to week 4 of our wonderful, exciting online lessons. So today we're going to be talking about simple phrases to describe where things are in space. Okay, and then we're going to be moving on to talk about giving directions, talking about how to navigate, and especially how to use the subway. Okay, so first to begin with, simple basic prepositions. Here is a wonderful, lovely box. Okay, we're going to be talking about where is a ball in relation to that box. Okay, the phrase we're going to be using is the ball is blank the box. Okay, so simple enough. If the ball is right here, we would say the ball is on the box. Here, the ball is in the box. No problem so far. Down here, the ball is under the box. Back here, the ball is behind the box. The opposite of behind is in front of. Okay, so we have in, on, under, in front of, and behind. Okay, now those are the easiest ones. The biggest mistake people make usually talking about things is with on and under. Okay, especially because I'm using the phrase like on the box is different from under. A lot of times students will make a mistake in pronouncing it. Say it, oh, it's under the box, which is different from what you want. Under the box, under the table, on the car, on the table. Okay? So, more complicated ones. Here we have on the side, next to, or beside. Next to and beside mean exactly the same thing. They are the same phrase. Okay? And next to can be either side. There is no difference at all. It's here is next to me. Here is next to me. Both of them are the same thing. Okay? Also, the opposite of under is up here, over. Either over or above. Over and above, same meaning. No difference at all. Okay? The ball is over the box. Okay? And the only other one that's important to know right now, we're going to be talking about here. The ball is between the boxes. Okay? Now, the important thing to remember with between is you can't say one thing after. Between always refers to two different things. You have to be in the middle of something. If those are the same, like here, it's between the boxes is fine. It has to be plural. If it's two different things, then you have to say both of them. Okay, the ball is between the box and the triangle. Okay, you have to say both of them. All right, next, very useful phrase for talking about where things are when you're giving directions would be this style. Imagine there are two people. They are looking at each other, and especially if something is in the middle. Okay, they are looking at each other. We would say they are across from. Okay, across from means they're facing looking at each other. I am across from you. My face is looking at where hopefully your face is if you are watching this video and paying attention, which I certainly hope that you are. Okay, two people can be across from each other if their faces are looking the same way. If one person is looking this way and the other person is looking this way, they are not across from each other. They have to be going in the same direction or towards each other. Okay? So, important thing to remember, across from is used very commonly when you're giving directions, when you're talking about things that are on a street and say, oh, the bank is across from the restaurant. A street is in the middle. Okay? So, you're with me so far? Okay. Good. Look around your room, wherever you are now when you're watching this. Try to practice describing where things are. Oh, the computer is on the desk. My feet are under the desk. My mom is in the kitchen. Okay? Rooms, you're always in a room. Okay? A floor, like of a building, is on. Okay? Oh, my apartment is on the 3rd floor. My apartment is on the 10th floor. Okay? Where do you live? So, next, the difference between in and at when you are describing where something is. At can often be very confusing for people to explain. Essentially, the difference is if you know where someone is, you would say they're in that place. If you know they're there, but you don't know exactly where, you would say at. Okay? For example, if you know that your friend they went to school, but you don't know what room they're in, you would say they are at school. If you know they're in room, 703, okay, they're in that room. You know exactly where they are. Okay? If you know they went shopping, so, oh, she's at Triple Street. Oh, she's at Hyundai department store. Okay? Because you don't know 100% where they are. If you do, you would not say at. Okay? You just say, oh, she's in, I don't know. She's in the restaurant. She's in McDonald's. Okay? So they can sometimes be switched, but most of the time, that's the difference between them. Okay? So, questions? Okay, good. Next. Okay, now, we're going to be talking about giving directions and talking about where things are. Okay, here is a lovely map that we have set up. Okay, in this neighborhood, first, some important terminology. There are roads and streets and avenues. They all mean essentially the same thing. Okay, this space in between roads is called a block. Okay, so people say, oh yeah, you go 3 blocks. That's what they're referring to. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, this area where 2 or 3 or 5 roads come together is called a intersection. Okay, inter just means between. Like internet is between computers. Intersection is where 2 roads come together. It's between roads. Yet generally at intersections you're going to need to give people advice about where to go. Okay? These lines where people can walk is in America called a crosswalk. In England and a few other countries they're called a zebra crossing. But basically this is a place where people would walk across the street. Not terribly important right now. What is important is how you are going to be describing where people go, okay? First, just keep on walking. You would say, go straight. With these, you want to include the verb of what people are going to be doing. Go straight, okay? And especially, you say go straight for to describe how long it is. Go straight for 2 blocks. Go straight for 10 kilometers. Or turn. Okay, you can turn right, turn left. Okay, depending on where people are going to go. Very important to remember the difference between your right and your left. This may be more difficult for you, given that we're kind of backwards and mirror flipped. But if you hold out both of your hands like this, the easy way to remember is your left hand will make an L shape when you are looking at it. That's how you know it is your left hand. Okay, so say I'm here. I'm here. I'm at my house. I need to go to the bank. Say, okay, you go out at the intersection, turn left. Go straight 1 block. It is on your left is how you're going to describe where buildings are. On your left, on your right, on the second floor, on the first floor. Okay? Oh, the bank is across from the school. Okay? Here, a lot of times when you're going to be talking about where things are, you're going to want to be using describing words to talk about their location in space. Oh, it's behind the bakery. It's next to the restaurant. It's in front of the shopping mall. Okay? Those are very useful when you are describing where things need to go. Okay? If you are lost, and hopefully if you're traveling in another country, you need to ask for directions, you will have the necessary English to ask. You would say, "Excuse me, how do I get to blah, blah, blah?" Okay, can you tell me where is blah, blah, blah? Okay, you are asking people for help. Where is the simplest one. Okay, where is the bathroom? How do I get to Union Station? Where is the airport? Okay, where is my hotel? Can you tell me how to get to my hotel? All of those are different phrases for the same information. Okay, where is the simplest form. Okay, so important things to remember. Next, we're going to be talking about taking public transportation. Okay. Okay, so question number one, what is public transportation? Okay, public means it's open for everyone to use. A public school is a school for anyone to go to. A public library is a library for anyone. Okay, transportation just means to move from one place to another. Okay, there are many forms of transportation. Bike, car, train, subway, plane, boat. We are mainly going to be talking about public transportation, which means a way of going from one place to another that is open for everyone to use. So for example, a bus or the subway is mainly what we're going to be talking about today. If you're traveling in another country, probably you are going to be using public transportation. Usually it is very clear and easy to use, but there are important phrases to understand to help you to navigate around where you were going. Okay. For the most part, buses and subways use very similar phrasing. There's a little bit of difference between them, and we're going to talk about that now. First of all, here is a lovely subway map. Okay, each one of these dots is a station. Okay, that is a place where where the subway will stop. Okay, it's usually abbreviated like this, ST period. That is short for station. Buses do not stop at stations. Buses stop at stops. A bus stop is a place on the street where the bus will you can get on and off that bus. Okay, subways have stations. Generally, when you are referring to either a bus or a subway, the phrasing you're going to use is get on or get off. Get on the bus means to enter it. Get off the bus is to leave. Okay? If you are talking about a bus, and you say, oh, get on the 12 bus. Get on the, M390 bus. Okay? Or, if you're talking about a place, you would refer to that as an at. Get on at Union Station. Get on at Campustown Station. Okay? Generally, you will refer to a bus line by a number. Okay, the 13 bus. Subways have different names. In Korea, they're referred to by numbers and by colors. Oh, the red line, the blue line, or line 1, line 2. Okay? Other countries usually do that as well, though sometimes places will refer to them by different names. New York is the worst because New York will call it the F line or the M line because it's named after the train that runs on that, and it's confusing and nobody likes it. So, When you are describing this, so you get on at this station, okay? When you refer to how far you go, you would say you go blank stops, go 5 stops, go 10 stops, referring to how many stops you will travel. Each stop is one station because the train or the bus stops there. Makes sense. Okay, so if you need to change to a different car, you can say change. There's nothing wrong with that. But the more common phrase is transfer. Transfer means to get off one thing and get on another. Okay? Transfer from the red line to the blue line. Transfer at Union Station. Okay? You can talk about it as a place or as a thing that you're transferring to. Okay? Often people will say both because you're saying, oh, you transfer at Union Station to the blue line. Okay? If you just say transfer to the blue line, it can sometimes be confusing for people to understand. Okay? And finally, get off. Telling people where do they leave that train. Okay? Describing where things go, or sorry, how to navigate the subway, the vocabulary is not difficult. However, in practice, it can be confusing. Okay, so we're going to break that down a little bit. Couple other phrases. First, direct and change. If you say go direct, that just means you go without changing anywhere. So if, for example, I get on the red line here and I need to go to the red line here, that's a direct trip. I'm not changing to another line. Okay, so follow the red line direct, 5 stops, and get off at, I don't know, Red Station, whatever is the name. Okay. Also, an important difference is the difference between the local and the express. A local bus or a local train will stop at every stop. An express train will not. An express train will skip some stops and only stop every once in a while. Okay, if you have taken the subway to Chungung University, there is a express train that stops at some of the stops and not at other ones you may have found. Okay, express buses will do the same thing, but usually an express bus is labeled very clearly. It is much more difficult to get on an express bus instead of a local bus. However, it is very easy to mix up between a local and an express train. That is always something to be careful of when you are riding the subway, especially in a country where you do not know the trains very well. Please pay attention and say, oh, is this a local or an express train? They will make an announcement as the train is entering the station. Okay, so hopefully you understand all of this. Now, the wonderful, exciting homework, which I know you have been waiting breathlessly for. Let me explain the material worksheet that you received. First of all, here, this page, prepositions. What I would like you to do is fill in each one of these using either at, in, or on to describe what is going on and where people are, okay? At a place, in a place, on a place, okay? And here, a prepositions crossword puzzle. Look at the pictures, fill in the blanks here describing them. Now, to make this more complicated, there is no word bank to describe all the different things. Oh, is that on, under, next to? I'm not sure. This does have some that we have not covered, like around, just to make things more complicated and confusing. What I would like you to do, please, is look these up. You do your best work. If you cannot do this, I understand. I would like you just to try your best. Okay? And next, here, this page is about public transportation. Please use the phrases to fill in the blanks as well as you can. And finally, here is a wonderful, lovely subway map. Please fill in the blanks here to describe where you are. Okay? And Finally, a video assignment. What I would like you to do is describe where you live and how you would get to where I live. I live at Campus Town Station in Songdo. Okay? Please describe how you could come here, either by bus or by subway. You cannot drive. Don't just say, oh, I'll get in my car. How would you get here by public transportation? Okay? There is a bus stop and a subway stop right outside of my house. The Yonsei bus stop is right next to me. The Campus Town train station is right outside my house. Tell me, where do you live? And then describe how would you come here. Give me the directions. Oh, I get on at Gangnam Station. I take the green train, 5 stops and transfer. I change, I do blah, 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 blah. Describe how you would come here to visit me, which of course is something you will never, never do. So, please, I hope you are enjoying your wonderful, exciting Coronacation, and we'll be back at school relatively quickly. I hope these videos have been helpful. Again, if you have any problems or questions, please send me an email or a message and I will do my best to help you. Okay? Thank you very much. Bye.